Hey guys, how are we all doing? I am Brian and welcome back to Brian Reads. So, as you might have seen in the previous video in the Science Behind the Nautilus Part 1, I didn't get a chance to make an outro because I decided to cut the video short as it was too long. And in this video, you'll be watching Part 2 of the Science Behind the Nautilus. I hope you enjoy it and let's get into the video. So from the quote, the captain highlights that it is able to generate about 120 revolutions a second, while the Nautilus's dimensions involves a large 6-meter propeller which requires a lot of torque. And if you haven't heard of torque before, it is defined as a measure of force that causes an object to rotate about an axis. So it's basically physics terminology. And the propeller is also underwater, and the mass of the Nautilus is at 1,500 tons, in which the accelerations performed inside the book was actually claimed unobtainable by M.G.A.G. and U.X. Sorry, that was the name of the person. M. Ganu. Yeah, he's French and sorry, I can't pronounce his name. And he was the chief engineer for France's first nuclear submarine. So he actually took out all the calculations from this book that Verne made, and he actually concluded that the calculations and the science behind it was unobtainable in real life. But this is actually one of the most interesting aspects of this book, in which Verne actually tells his story to the smallest details, which I truly enjoy. And he also gives scientific explanations, which I think is mind-blowing, because he tried to explain all the aspects of this idea, in which during his time this technology was not built yet, and he gathered all of the physics and science, possible science explanations behind it, and he put it together inside his book, which I truly enjoy reading about. Verne was a writer, but he decided to take a step further and to actually attempt to explain the build and the sciences behind the Nautilus before the technology even existed, which I think is impressive. Yeah, so that's an interesting thing that I learned from the website. And the blog post also contains theories discussed by many scientists and engineers about how the Nautilus is able to work in real life. So they're trying to figure out what technology actually was used by the captain during that time. So they're trying to discuss and explain how can the Nautilus work with that state of technology back then. Let's move on to the second chapter. By the second chapter, what I meant was the 12th chapter. Okay, so upon giving the blueprint, the captain also said some things about the build of the Nautilus, and I will read it directly from the book. He said that the Nautilus is cylinder in shape with conical ends. The length is approximately 232 feet with a 26 feet maximum breadth. The total area measures 6,032 feet, having about 1,500 cubic yards of content. It weighs 1,500 tons, and when completely underwater, completely submerged, it displaces 50,000 feet of water. When the Nautilus is afloat, 1/10 of the body is out of the water, making reservoir of a size equal to this 10th, which is capable of holding 150 tons, and when filled with water, the boat weighing 1,507 tons will be submerged. Then moving further, the professor asks how the Nautilus is able to withhold pressure. As to empty those reservoirs below the Nautilus, the pumps must be able to overcome pressure of 100 atmospheres, which is 1,500 per square inch. The captain then quickly cut the professor, explaining that the dynamic engine powers of the Nautilus are infinite. pumps of the Nautilus has enormous power. For rising quickly to the surface in case of emergency, the captain said that he could shift the screw and the water pressure works its magic by bringing the Nautilus to the surface really quickly. So, talking about pressure, one other thing needs to be asked. What about the glasses in the Nautilus? Listen to this. The captain also explains the glasses used in the submarine, which was made 30 times thicker from the breaking point of the glass at that particular pressure. So it was made really strong. The professor, still eager to know more about it, he asked, "Then how do you see underwater?" The captain then replied, "The Nautilus is equipped with a powerful electric reflector, in which rays from it lights up the sea for about half a mile." Which explains, if you have already seen the first video, the phosphorescent colors seen by all the marine vessels who have encountered the Nautilus before. Then the professor asked another question, which I think needs to be asked, in my opinion, because how can the captain build the Nautilus without no one in the world ever knowing about its existence? The captain answered, parts were brought from all over the globe. And the captain set up workshops in desert island, together with his workmen, who now works inside the Nautilus, and then he destroyed all traces of it. Alright guys, so this brings us to the end of this video. And in summary, we have talked about the science behind the Nautilus, how does it work, how does it function, and hopefully this video has given you better understanding and better illustration on the Nautilus inside 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea book. Alright, so actually this is one of the books that I geeked out about, as you guys can see from the previous parts, in which I really can't contain my excitement. So that is what I hope you guys can find by reading books, in which my passion is truly to share what I learn from what I read. And that is what Brian Reads is all about. As promised, there will be a continuation on this book discussion, which is going to be part 3 of the book, where I'll be talking more about the authors and the origin of the characters. So, you know, stay tuned and don't miss out on the third episode of the series. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel and please give this video a huge like, and also turn your notifications bell on so you don't miss out any of my future videos. And guys, you know the drill. I hope you are having a great day. I appreciate all of you watching this video. Stay safe and have a great day. Peace.